I noticed I'm in depth with the last video about the Quran from Surah 94 to 124. This is, I know, 20 Surah, 21 actually, uh, but I will try my best. So, Surah 94 mentions something that can be interpreted as an open heart surgery. Then comes the fig tree or the fig, the fruit, depends on translation, the title. Uh, it comes that the tells that the Mr. A created human in the best form, and those who, you know, get away from the Islam belief will do have, you know, are become misformed. Very much sound like Nazi ideology. Then the next surah says that let the slaves pray, even if they don't pray to Mr. A, but to something else. The next surah is the night of the prediction or something. In other translation the title is force, but whatever, is better than 1,000 months. For what? And as most of the people will end up in the fire, I don't think they will be so happy with that. Now on to the next surah. Well, it says that if a prophet of Mr. A comes, then that is a obvious proof. It isn't, if you ask me, but I know that Muslims don't really care in what I am thinking. An infidel, yeah. Then this says that giving the zakat is actually the only commandment. What about the praying 5 times in a day, visiting Mecca if you can, and Allah being the only God? Who knows? Then it says that whoever ends up in the Gehenna are the most terrible, bad, wicked persons, wicked beings, not persons, beings. So they are worse than the Ebola virus, the AIDS, the cholera, pestis, whatever the English name of it. Well, let's move on to the next surah, the earthquake. It says absolutely nothing, just like the next surah, the warrior horses, the runners, or whatever the actual translation will be. Then comes the next surah, catastrophe. Yeah, just more you will burn thing. Then the next surah comes, just more hellfire. Then two surah that has nothing mentionable. Then comes the next surah, the elephant. It says that some elephant keepers were attacked by Mr. A's flying beings, maybe birds. It is a really strange story. Let's move on to the next surah. Actually, the title seems to be winter. Apart from the rah 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 rah, the Arabic word, whatever the pronunciation is. I found different pronunciation depending on translate versions. It has absolutely no sense. Then, so let's move on to the next surah. Only Muslims helping the infants and the poor. The next surah says that no Muslims has less descendants, less children. Let's move on to the next surah, the infidels. It has a nice thought that that's your religion, that's mine. It would be good that if they would they would stick to this thought, but they don't. Just think on 9/11, for example. Although that was an inside job, just like science. Now let's move on to the next surah, the helper or the help, whatever translate version you use. If you see that everyone is, worshipping Allah, you should praise Allah too. That's actually mob mentality, and actually is many times useful, but as a general advice, it's not good. So let's move on to the next surah. Just 3 more with this one. It says that you should burn Abu Lahab and hang up his wife. Who this AL? Who knows? So let's move on to the next surah. Mr. A created every bad thing. Just to know. Darkness is evil. Maybe Mohamad was afraid in darkness or something. Just to try to make some personal account. And the witches are exist and they are evil. How enlightening. Now the last surah, the humanity or the humans, actually it doesn't tell us too much or anything about humanity or humans. Actually it doesn't tell anything about anything, but there are djinns in it, so at least we found some good fairy tales aspect, just like for the whole Quran. This was the last one of the big fairy tale of the Muslims. Goodbye.